The final bargain transfer we wanted to talk about, in depth at least, is Thiago. It's the saga that keeps on rolling on, but it's impossible to see him as anything other than a complete bargain. In terms of where the transfer's at, the latest that we've got before filming this is that Fabrizio Romano tweeted that he's not taking part in any of the medicals at Bayern's training centre this week. I imagine that's coronavirus related. Bayern are still insisting that Liverpool or any potential suitors paid 30 million euros. But Liverpool's move probably hinges on whether Wijnaldum goes to Barcelona, who Koeman apparently wants over Thiago, which is slightly baffling, to be honest. According to Fabrizio, Chelsea haven't made contact. Man United talked to his agent but haven't made an official bid or entered talks with Bayern Munich. So it really does feel like it's Liverpool or nothing. And Thiago made it very clear that when he wasn't set to renew that contract, which expires next year, that Liverpool was his target and that's where he wants to go. In terms of would he be worth it, absolutely. I mean, he turned 29 in April, but he's still very much at the top of his game. He's got this reputation for being quite injury plagued, I would say, or injury ridden, I should say. But he's played at least 40 games in 4 of the last 5 seasons. He missed 9 games in 19-20 with injury, but when he was fit, he was pretty much ever present in the side. Played 34 League and Champions League games, and his underlying numbers suggest a player still very much at the top of his game. 3 goals and 2 assists, which isn't his best return in a season. I think he got close to 10 assists once in the Bundesliga a couple of years ago. So that's slightly gone down as he's been shifted into a deeper role. But still, really solid defensive contribution. 4.6 tackles and interceptions, 0.9 shots, 1 key pass, and a crazy 3.6 dribbles per 90. I think that was the best record for a central midfielder in Europe. That's close to, I think, Kovacic and Jeffrey Adelaide were close there as well. But that's really what separates Thiago apart. It's his ability to break the press in central midfield, turn quickly either way, and then shoot these lovely diagonal balls, which everyone loves to see, all around the team. And he'd be a massive step up, I think, in Wijnaldum. I think Wijnaldum's unfairly criticised, particularly on this channel, by one person in particular, but actually he's a very solid Premier League performer. He's been a crucial part of Liverpool becoming one of the better sides and one of the best sides really in Premier League history over the last couple of years. But his underlying numbers never look particularly good. But what he is very good, he's very good at retaining the ball, and he's a very good presser as well. But actually, if you look into it, Thiago completes just as many pressures per 90, which is 15, and actually wins the ball back 36% of the time he presses compared to 31% for Wijnaldum. So that would be the main concern probably for Liverpool fans, is whether he'll be able to keep up with Liverpool's sort of midfield style. But actually, on those underlying numbers at least, it seems like he'll be more than able to do that. All in all, I think this is a complete win for Liverpool. I think it would be the signing of the summer. I think it would be one of the deals of the last 10 years. And I can't fathom why they haven't just got this done. I think he would be an awesome addition to this Liverpool midfield. I can hear some noises coming from one of you. Are you guys in agreement with that?
Deal of the last 10 years is a big
One
claim. Just because of his age, I think. But yeah, 30 million euros for what? Third best midfielder in the world, maybe.
He's
in the top 5. He's easily in the top 5. He's such an. I mean, he's an upgrade on anyone in that Liverpool midfield, to be honest. Maybe aside from Fabinho, I know Henderson's had an amazing year, and Liverpool fans will probably be getting at me in the comments for that. But he is just he just takes that midfield to a whole new level, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Henry, are you in agreement with that? Are you as baffled as me as why Liverpool haven't got this done?
I am. I was on Transfer Talk this week and I was looking on Twitter, and there are a lot of Liverpool fans just so confused why this hasn't gone through. And more so also that Harry Wilson and Rhian Brewster, they've made them both available for £20 million each, and they're refusing to budge on that price either. Apparently Aston Villa and I think Sheffield United have both seen offers about 13 million for Harry Wilson rejected and stuff like that. And they were saying only Liverpool could value their youngsters at 20 million each, and then refuse to pay 30 million euros for, as we said, one of the best midfielders in the world. And I think they make put a lot of emphasis on him being 29. 29's not horrendously old in the world of football, if that makes sense. If you look at what Thiago does, the way he operates in the midfield, he could easily get stuck in there for 3-4 years. I mean, just look at James Milner. I mean, obviously he's sort of presented as the consummate professional and stuff like that, and the way that he looks after himself.
And a bit of a genetic freak, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But I think, it's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, Jurgen Klopp came out today and sort of made a dig at the bigger clubs, saying that Liverpool don't have the kind of budgets and they're not run by oligarchs or nations and stuff like that. But I'm not buying for a second that they don't have 30 million tucked away, which they could just spend on this, because this, like we said before, it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely, and if you cut your price to 13 million for Harry Wilson, sell Gini for 15, then you only need 2 million to get Thiago. Surely it's got to be done. Absolutely mental. But Liverpool, as you say, do drive a very hard bargain, as we've seen with Dominic Solanke and Danny Ward over the last few years. They always get very good deals. Guys, we briefly want to touch on some more niche shouts. Obviously, Donnarumma, Depay, Thiago, big names. But McCubs, one name in Austria is Patzen, who has, we probably haven't watched that much of him firsthand, at least, but his statistics are mind-blowing, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's another gem from Salzburg, isn't he? They just keep on producing them. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, he's 21-year-old Zambian striker, shot to prominence, kind of after Erling Haaland left, really. Made 38 appearances for Salzburg over the previous two seasons before, and scored 7 goals. Also spent 2 years on loan at their feeder club, FC Liefering. But yeah, last season he just exploded. 27 goals in 45 games. That included 24 and 31 league games. So really, really prolific in the Austrian Bundesliga. And Salzburg kind of saw what was coming, I guess. They extended his contract until 2024 in December 2019, obviously when Haaland was pretty much odds on to go. And yeah, just looks like, at the moment, a really kind of mature, all-round centre forward. He can drop deep, links up play, but also incredible in the box, as we've seen with his scoring record. Decent creative numbers as well. Got 6 assists last season, so that kind of worked out to around 30 goal contributions in 30 games. Also played in the Champions League as well, and looked pretty impressive in the group stages. As well, obviously, the focus really wasn't on him at that point. But from 2 starts and 2 sub appearances, he was taking over 4 shots a game and creating nearly 2 chances a match. Obviously, that's in limited minutes, and I guess those are per 90 stats as well, so it may be a little bit kind of skewed, but that's a pretty good sign in what was a pretty tough Champions League group as well. Obviously, had Liverpool and Napoli in there, didn't they? So, he could be a really good pickup. Whether he'll go this summer, I'm not really sure. I feel like his name would have already kind of come up a little bit more. I feel like there would probably be more negotiations at hand by this point. But he's valued at £18 million. I think that would probably rise to over 20 million or even to 30 million if Salzburg know what they're doing. But obviously, they are also a club that have been, I guess, known for letting players go for relatively little as well. Just look at what happened with Haaland with Borussia Dortmund and the number of players who they've sold in the past as well. Obviously, Szoboszlai is another player who a lot of clubs are going for at Salzburg as well. So I think there's an opportunity for Salzburg to be a bit more. Drive a bit of a harder bargain with these players, just because they really do now have a reputation, for bringing through some of the best talent in Europe. I know that's been the case for a while now, but they're really not a secret anymore. Liverpool have actually been linked with Patzen. I think they're favourites to sign him, apparently. So yeah, that could be a really interesting shout, and in some ways the kind of profile of player that Liverpool should probably be looking at least if they are serious about Ryan Brewster going. I feel like they're still kind of holding out for Ryan Brewster coming through, but at the moment he's just not getting the minutes, is he? So yeah, Patzen, I think he's going to be making headlines for the next year in the transfer news world, I guess.